What's going on? My name is Steph and welcome back to my channel, Mountain High Life. Today is Saturday, March 1st. Happy birthday to my dad. And I'm going to be taking you guys along for a front range finds. It's been a hot second since I've done a front range find, so I'm really excited to be getting out, exploring, getting off of my backyard trails that I frequently run way too frequently. So that to be said, before we get into today's video, if you are into trail running, ultramarathon training, or mountain vlogs, consider subscribing. That's what I post on my channel. Also, feel free to check out my Strava and Instagram, which is linked in the description down below. So I'm here at Staunton State Park, which is near Pine, Colorado, and I've been here and run here a handful of times. This is actually the location of my very first trail race, which I ran in December of 2023, and I really enjoy this state park. The one really cool thing about this state park is it does sit at 8,000 feet, and we get upwards of over 9,000 feet actually, which I think is kind of nice, especially during the winter months, cooler months, when it can be kind of hard to get to some of those higher elevations. So really excited to be running around here, excited to be at elevation, excited to be checking out new trails. There's beautiful views, a total switch up of scenery. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to running. So I have an 18-mile loop planned for us today, assuming it'll probably be a little longer, but it is going to take us all over Staunton to some areas that are new to me and some that I've run a couple of times now. So excited to just check it out, excited to see what the day has in store. So we're starting a section I've never been on. So this will be totally new to me. Being that we're at 8,000 to 9,000 feet, I am suspecting that we are going to be on a lot of ice and snow where it's shady, which I'm already running into. Perhaps as the sun comes out, things will soften up a little bit. But the one kind of nice thing about the loop that I planned is you can kind of break it up into two smaller loops, whether you want to do the starting loop, which is what I'm currently on, or do like the second half of this, which I have run, but I did try to include a lot of like overlooks and kind of points of interest. So hopefully we'll be able to get some good views, and from that you can kind of pick what sounds most appealing to you. So we'll see what this new to me trail is about. Over there is a really popular climbing area. We'll head over, and I believe we kind of wrap around kind of towards that rock outcropping over that way. We did hit some steep, they're not super steep, but some considerable switchbacks, which at this elevation, they're feeling really steep. But as I've kind of climbed up, there's a lot less snow on the trail, or it's just softer, not as sketchy. So my watch says we are at 9,200 feet, which is crazy. It doesn't really feel like it. I mean, sure, on the uphills I feel like I'm sucking wind, but like as far as everything else, I don't know, it just kind of feels like I'm another day on the front range, you know? So that's one really cool thing about Staunton is, like I said, you can kind of start to acclimate yourself to higher elevations without, you know, having to go anywhere too far or go into the alpine. Just a really great option for late spring, even early spring, anytime. forgot to give you guys a little fit check for today. So being that we're at 9,000 feet, I am wearing the Sun Chaser hoodie. I just love this thing so much. It makes my life so much easier, especially being at altitude with a stronger sun. Alleviates the need to apply sunscreen, and with temperatures getting a little bit warmer, the material that the Sun Chaser hoodie uses, when it catches a breeze, it cools you down. I don't know how Jonji does it, but I just am so obsessed with these hoods. And I'm really excited to show you, today I have on the 4-inch Trail Tight. So these shorts offer the incredible bounce-free pockets that the 7/8 Trail Tight has, as well as the 9-inch Trail Half Tight has to offer, but in a 4-inch version. So this is new for the spring 2025 Jonji launch. So these are still pretty new to me, and so far I am just loving them. I'm excited for shorts weather. I mean, I'm always trying to wear shorts, but these have been really awesome, and I'm really excited to wear them more and wear them on trail this summer. You should definitely go check out the 2025 drop. So you can click the link in my description down below, use my code Mountain High Life for 10% off your order. Go check out some of their new stuff. They have really beautiful patterns, really beautiful colors that I'm so excited to get my hands on here soon. So thank you so much to Jonji for partnering with me, believing in my channel, and making the best running apparel. Go check them out. So at 9,500 feet, we're at one of our high points for the day. I don't know if it's gonna be the highest point of the day, but 9,500 feet. So if you're looking for some altitude, this is a great place to come in the winter. So for the Lion's Head Rock out and back that I just did, there are seasonal closures from March until the end of July. So just be mindful of that. I assume it's probably like raptor nesting or something like that, but just be mindful. Check the trail before you come. CO treks, I know I always talk about it, but always pull that up before you head out the door, just to make sure your trails or planned route for the day is open and good to go. Just thought I'd throw that in there. So we are on some trail that I am familiar with, which is kind of nice. So this is kind of the start of the second loop I was talking about. So we're getting to kind of the top of this climb. A lot of switchbacks, but pretty quiet back here, pretty steep, and we're at like 9,400 feet, so pretty good elevation back here. Like I said, I've run this trail before, and I am a little familiar with it. I think we'll pretty much kind of stay at this elevation, not too much climbing until we kind of reach a different trail, which is probably here in another few miles. And I want to say we get even higher than 9,500 feet, but we'll just have to see. Some snow, but it's about noon, I would guess, so snow is kind of soft, which makes running a little easier. One really important thing being at this elevation, even for somebody that lives in Colorado, you gotta drink a lot more water. Friendly little reminder to hydrate well. are at another little detour. We are at the Eagle Cliffs overlook, and of all the little side quests and detours and overlooks I've taken today, this one is probably the most spectacular. I mean, you have these beautiful climbing crags behind me. Then you have off in the distance there some beautiful alpine mountains. And off to this way you have Pikes Peak. And we are sitting at 9,700 feet. So I have not done any running, hiking, anything at this elevation in probably 4 or 5 months now. So it's good to be getting back out here. I definitely am feeling the elevation today. So be wary. But this is great. We're getting our butt kicked a little bit. So yeah, just really stunning. I would highly recommend the Eagle Cliffs overlook. Anytime I've descended the Mason Creek Trail, which I'm currently on, there is always some kind of condition, whether it's ice or snow or slush. So just be careful. It's probably gonna be this way. I think it's just the way, the position of the trail on the north side of the mountain in the woods, and it's next to a creek. So got about a mile left of this run. Beautiful day. So it is 2:30 and we are all done. We are all wrapped up. It ended up being about 18.5 miles, about 3,300 feet of gain. And if I'm being perfectly honest with you, I really felt a lot of mental fatigue as well as just like physical fatigue. I definitely don't want to negate the fact that I ran a 55K last weekend, and we were, like I mentioned throughout this whole video, at elevation. But I also think that that is such a great thing about Staunton, is you're at elevation and you get all of this wonderful altitude training that doesn't really feel like you're doing anything too crazy. So I personally really enjoyed that. The views are much different, like I said, than what I'm used to up in Fort Collins. Reason being is Staunton is outside of Pine, Colorado, which is kind of southwest of Denver. It's about 40 minutes southwest of Denver. I don't know how far from Colorado Springs, but because it is more southwest of Denver, you get more views of Pikes Peak. Just like any state park, just so you know, you do need a state parks pass. You can purchase a day pass at the kiosk. However, if you do have a state parks pass with your registration, you'll just need to basically show your registration when you enter the park. Additionally, dogs are allowed here, just on a leash. One thing to note is there are many seasonal trail closures in this state park, so make sure you do some reading, make sure you do some research before you come, because I wasn't even aware of that until I got out there. Thankfully everything was open for me today, but it does seem that for March, that is a time where some of the trails do close, so do some research, see what's open, see what's not. And as always, like I mentioned earlier, check the CO Treks or Colorado Treks app. That is going to be a surefire way to know if your trail for the day is open, or if there are any unexpected trail closures, you will certainly find out there. I would say, as far as the 2 loops that I did today goes, I really enjoyed the first loop. It was new to me, and I really enjoyed some of the views and kind of rock outcroppings and different areas that I was able to check out that I had not previously been able to check out. And I thought the trail was really fun and mentally engaging. I will say for the second loop, I do feel like you get a little bit more of a feel of what Staunton is really like. You get to run through a lot of crags and check out different areas, but I will be honest, a lot of it is in the woods, so you do have a few outcroppings where you can kind of see, get a little bit of scenery, get a little bit more of the views of some of the landscape around. But like I mentioned, the Eagle Cliffs overlook was so spectacular, so that was featured in loop number 2, so I highly recommend making it over there. But a lot of the trails were in the woods, so a lot of front range finds I do. It's kind of pick your adventure, choose your adventure. If you want to do a shorter loop, pick one of the 2 loops, or you could do what I did today, which was about an 18-mile loop, which does include all of those little overlooks. So one other thing I think is worth mentioning about Staunton is similar to the seasonal trail closures, this time of year, trail conditions are questionable. It kind of depends on what side of the mountain you're on or what sort of sun the trail receives, whether it's in, a wooded area or if it's on the north side of the park, or I guess a north-facing trail. I ran into a lot of snow, a lot of slush, and a lot of ice today. I was able to make do with it. It kind of worked out just because I did race last weekend. It kind of gave me an excuse to take it a little bit easier in some sections, but trail conditions are definitely variable. I ran into everything today. Perfectly dry trail, muddy trail, slush, ice, death ice, snow, everything. Because we're at altitude, it's just something I really wanted to keep in mind. And also, I know I mentioned it earlier, because we are at altitude, don't forget to hydrate, get some electrolytes in, get plenty of water in, keep up on your nutrition. It's so important, especially when you are at elevation and at altitude. So just a few more points I wanted to make when you come to visit. I wish I could come down here more often, primarily for the altitude training. However, it is a bit of a drive for me. It's anywhere from an hour and 40 minutes to 2 hours. So it's a bit of a drive. Like I mentioned, I did just finish, or I ran a 55K last weekend. So if you're curious to hear how my first ultra of 2025 went, I will link the video here on the screen. So feel free to go check that out. I want to say thank you again to John G for partnering with me. Keep your eye out for my spring haul, but also go click the link in the description and go check out their spring drop. You will not be disappointed. It's so good. All that to be said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you get out on some trail today. I hope you come check out Staunton State Park, and I will see you in my next adventure. Bye.